Greetings, Earthlings. It's me, Portable Clouds.
So,
It's the week after Thanksgiving, and right before the holiday, I had my lovely husband, Kevin, playtest the version of my game that I had up on itch. And it was a nightmare. As I was watching him play the game, I was writing down issues he had and other things that I noticed. But then RPG Maker attacked. First, a bumblebat was able to kill him after he escaped the battle, which gave him a game over and ruined his autosave. The expectation when you run away from a battle is that you're safe, so being able to be damaged after you've run away is already bad enough. What's more is that it's breaking my game over behavior. In most games, you're supposed to get a game over when you die. But in Dude, Where's My Couch, you're supposed to be teleported back to your last rest point and lose a life. If you run out of lives, that's when you're supposed to get a game over. The problem here is how the active time battle system I'm using handles escaping and how RPG Maker handles game over. If I was using a normal game engine, this would mean I just needed to tweak some things in my system coding to make it not do that. But because I'm using RPG Maker, everything relating to the battle system is closed source, and I'm just stuck with default functionality. It's no good that players are forced to go through this sometimes, but maybe with enough creative thinking I can find a way around it. But then RPG Maker attacked again. After he recovered from the bumblebat encounter and progressed some more, he got to the fight with Karen at the mall. Karen's battle is the first time you have a second party member to control, so it's also the first time one of your characters can die in a battle without you instantly losing. As RPG Maker is designed for making RPGs where you can have multiple party members, this should go perfectly, right? With a real game engine, you might get an error like this while you're playtesting, but you'll also have access to a console so you can at least see where things went wrong. With RPG Maker, this error does not show up at all during playtesting, and because RPG Maker lacks a console, errors like this are nearly impossible to diagnose. This caused me major issues trying to deploy my game for mobile because I frequently get errors like this where it can't read assets that are just fine when I'm playtesting an engine. After seeing his game become literally unplayable due to an error I could not control, I started spiraling hard. After all, if I can barely get my husband to play the game for free without issues, how will people who pay for the game feel when they run into this? So, I spent my holiday in the midst of an existential crisis, feeling like I had no option but to rebuild my game from scratch in Unreal. But the more I would think about it, the more I felt like I want to change my gameplay in major ways to better suit my skill level and work I was willing to do to rebuild the game from scratch in Unreal. Not to mention, the mere act of getting back to where I am now, which is very close to finishing the game, would take at least a year to do, if not longer. I want this game to be done in the next year, and I want it to play exactly how it should today. So, let's see what I can do. First things first, to get around the dying while running away issue, I'm going to see if removing the death state automatically after a battle does anything. Let's see what happens. So as you can see here, I've set my death state to remove at the battle end. So I'm going to try it out on a deployed game and see if I can also get that other glitch I was having to come back. Alright, so we're gonna see, can I run away in time? Yeah! Yes, we did it, we survived, we made it with 1 HP, we are good. Now, time to continue on and see if the Karen thing happens. Well, it seems like we were able to fix the dying while you run away thing, but dying in the middle of the Karen fight or with an extra party member seems to throw a wrench in things. So I'll probably have to look into this over the course of like a while and find out what's going on, because this is unacceptable.
The next day.
It's a new day, and I found the cause of the issue. It's just what I thought. A buggy, closed-source plugin from VisuStella. RPG Maker has its basic functionality built on JavaScript, which users in the community can expand on with JavaScript plugins. In past versions of RPG Maker, there were a lot of different developers of plugins, and because all of them used legible code, it was possible to look at the actual code and find or change anything you wanted to. In the present day, there are only a handful of developers who make anything for RPG Maker and Z, and only one developer group makes like 90% of them. VisuStella, or as they used to be known, Yanfly. For RPG Maker MZ, the Visustella team decided to obfuscate all their code, meaning that no one can look into the files to see what they do. It's just gibberish in there. This means that if you want to use Visustella, again, the only developer of full-featured RPG Maker plugins, you're pretty much locked into their ecosystem and only the functionality they want you to have. You can't edit the code to suit your needs, and their official stance on using their plugins with anyone else's is good luck. This has caused me a lot of grief over the last few years because I can't do simple things like customize the battle end screen or remove the ugly little strip behind the battle log. I also can't even expand upon their functionality because it's all locked down. They've overwritten just about every part of the RPG Maker base engine, and it's mostly for the better. But this also moves any solvable issues RPG Maker might have in their open scripts into a hidden and untouchable place. It might even create new issues that only they can solve. And they really don't want to provide any customer support. They make you jump through all kinds of hoops to even submit a bug report, and you just have to hope they write you back or acknowledge your issue in any way. And that's exactly what you want when you're trying to make a game. And that's what happened here. In Dude Where's My Couch, you can get an equip called the Comeback Pack, and that behaves kind of like a fairy in Zelda. If you have it equipped and your character dies, the Comeback Pack will instantly revive them at full health. There were some self-made bugs in the original iteration, but it's been working for over a year with no issues. When I did some more testing of this issue off camera, it seemed like it was related to the Comeback Pack, but I couldn't get any more specific than that. I hadn't changed a thing about it, but it basically stopped working and started crashing the game out of nowhere. It only cropped up in the Karen fight because the character who joins you for that fight has one. The way the issue got fixed was that I got an email notification from Visustella that they'd updated their giant plugin library about a while back. They never do release notes of any kind, so I did what I usually do when I get a vague update from them, and I re-downloaded the entire library, got everything into a single folder, and sorted by date modified. Sure enough, they updated their items in Equip's core, and updating the plugin to the latest version fixed my issue. Whatever the underlying cause was is still a mystery, and will probably be a mystery forever, just how we like it. At least now I can tie up some loose ends and get back on the free demo train, and the people who play it will be able to enjoy their experience as I intended. As always, thank you so much for your support, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Later, skaters! There's only in the present